Hello and welcome to another episode of Unmuted. I'm your host, Courtland Warren. This is a podcast about you finding your voice so that you can impact your world. One of the things we know to be true is that if the environment is not right, then certain things will for sure not grow. Different plants have specific environmental requirements for optimal growth. For instance, some plants require specific levels of sunlight, temperature, humidity, or soil conditions. And if these conditions are not met, the plants may not grow properly or they may even die. Relationships. Healthy relationships require a supportive and nurturing environment. If a relationship is characterized by negativity, lack of communication, or some toxic dynamics, it becomes challenging for the relationship to grow and thrive. Creativity. Creativity often flourishes in environments that encourage imagination, freedom of expression, and open-mindedness. In restrictive or judgmental environments, creativity can be stifled and individuals may struggle to explore and develop their creative ideas. Even your learning and development. Individuals need a conducive environment for effective learning and personal growth. If the environment lacks resources, support, or opportunities for learning, it becomes difficult for individuals to acquire new knowledge and skills and therefore reach their full potential. Your mental and emotional well-being. Mental and emotional well-being require a supportive and nurturing environment. Negative or stressful environments can hinder personal growth, self-esteem, and overall well-being. And so in this episode, we explore the importance of environment. We'll call it environmental or environmentally conducive. Is your environment conducive for the growth that you want to experience? Another way that we can look at it is simply, is your environment friendly? And so as we begin to explore this idea, what we know to be true is that certain conditions must be met in order for plants to grow, for animals to thrive, for creativity and imagination. And so I want you to consider your environment and simply, is it an environment that supports the growth that you want to experience? And when I say environment, what we're talking about are things like, awareness. One choice is a function of awareness. Exposure. What do you believe is possible based on what you're able to see? And oftentimes I've said that when you look towards creating or designing your future, it's important that you not consult the past. You don't consult the past to know what's possible in your future. So environment, it plays a significant role in determining success. That's right. Now, we're not talking about just luck. We're not talking about only resources, but it is true. There's no reasonable room for debate that some people are born into environments that are more conducive to high achievement. And it is also true that our environment, if we're not born into that, all is not lost. There are things that we can do, and we'll be exploring that in this episode. The environment that we surround ourselves with can influence our mindset, motivation, and overall performance. A positive and supportive environment can also provide encouragement. It can provide resources and opportunities for growth, leading to you experiencing the fullness of who you are. On the other hand, a negative or unsupportive environment can hinder progress, dampen your motivation, and limit opportunities. So it's important to create or seek out environments that align with our goals, values, and aspirations, as they can greatly impact our ability to succeed. And so then how do you create an environment for success? That's really the question. Because if you were not born into that environment, it would be easy to go to the place of, well, these are just the cards I was dealt. There's nothing really that I can do. Or does it mean that I have to leave all my friends and family and leave, the town where I live and so forth? And though there are times when that may be the answer, not so fast, because there are things that you can do to create the environment that is one that sets up for you to win, particularly as it relates to your mindset. One of the things that you must do in order to create an environment for success is to set clear goals that have a tangible outcome, whereby when it is accomplished, it's been done. You can touch it. You can hold it. It must go beyond just, I want to feel good, or I want to feel better, or I want to feel happier. Goals have two components. There is the purpose or fulfillment component, but there's also the results component. There's an outcome that must be achieved. So clearly defining your goals and objectives, both short and long term, the clarity around the goals will help you focus your efforts and align your environment accordingly. Secondly, in addition to setting clear goals, it's to the best of your ability, surround yourself with positive influences. Surround yourself with people who support and inspire you. Seek out mentors, coaches, and like-minded individuals who can provide guidance, motivation, and, very important, constructive feedback. Not criticism, but feedback. You want to surround yourself with people who, once you've clearly communicated to them what the goal is, these are people who have done it. They've been where you're desiring to go, and they can give you insight into how to perhaps save time and also save energy. Number 3, it's create a conducive physical space. I'm going to pause here for a moment and give you opportunity to look around your current space. Or just think about the space where you work from the most, in case you may be listening to this from someplace else. But ensure that your physical environment is organized, it's clean, it's free from distractions. And I would recommend that you designate a workspace that promotes focus and productivity. It's usually not sitting up in bed or laying in bed, even though that may be comfortable. It's usually not right in front of the television because you're like, well, I'm going to work a bit while I watch my favorite show, or it's the start of the NFL season, so I'll do it then. I recommend that you have an environment that is specifically designed for you to get work done for the achievement of your goals. It is also, in addition to setting clear goals, surrounding yourself with positive influences, and creating a conducive physical space, you got to create or cultivate a growth mindset. Develop a mindset that embraces challenges and sees failure as an opportunity, that allows you to see that from the failure, there is learning that is possible. One thing is certain: in an environment where you can excel, you must have the experience of knowing that you can fail also. I was speaking to my personal trainer, Robert Caddy, and we were talking about how the environment that he's created is one where, if you're like me, starting out, not very strong, I'm not intimidated when I walk in, right? You can actually, he oftentimes will encourage that we lift weight, or we, whatever the exercise is, we do it to the point of fatigue or to the point of muscle failure. Just go to that point and recognize that you're in an environment where you're not going to be humiliated, where you're not going to be embarrassed, where you're not going to feel less than. It's very important. Why? Because only in an environment where I know that I can fail do I free myself up to do what's necessary to win. It's a very interesting thing about how the mind works. It's like, once I know that I can fail and still be accepted, then I free myself up to go all in and really tap into what I'm capable of and perhaps experience things that I didn't even know was possible. So cultivating a growth mindset, particularly by putting yourself in an environment where failure is actually encouraged so that you learn more about yourself. And then also, in order for you to set up an environment conducive for you to excel, it is important that you establish daily routines and rituals. Yes, daily routines and rituals that go beyond just how you are of service to other people, but what are the daily routines and rituals that you have for yourself? And if it means that you have, because you got so much going on, if it means that you have to get up 30 minutes earlier just so you can have some time for you, I say do it, because one of the things that you want to convey or communicate to your subconscious mind is that you value yourself enough to give to you. And so create daily routines and rituals that support your goals and optimize your performance. This could include practices like meditation, journaling, exercising, visualization exercises, things that help you stay focused and motivated, but also have a clear picture of what you want and the price that you're willing to pay. Very important also is that you seek out accountability from someone that you respect, someone that you communicate to what you're going to get done, and who will hold you to that particular outcome. Very, very important. These are things that will lead to you creating an environment that is conducive for you to excel. Now, when we look at that's true, sounds great, but what are some of the pitfalls of an environment that is not friendly to your success? Well, one is a lack of support. Right? When you're not in an environment that supports you winning, then, the lack of support from peers or family or colleagues, it can be very challenging to stay motivated and focused on your goal, right? Becomes very, your willpower, the fuel that you have to go after bigger and better, is sometimes diminished when you spend all day or all week fighting for or fighting against naysayers or those who say that it can't be done. We sometimes give up all of our energy and our will and determination because we're defending why our goal is important and is possible. So negative or unsupportive individuals can actually discourage or undermine your efforts, making it really hard to achieve success. Another pitfall to you not doing the things necessary to set the environment up is limited resources. Like if your environment lacks the necessary resources or opportunities for growth, it can hinder your progress. So if you find yourself, let's say, working in an organization where there is no upward mobility, how difficult is it to stay motivated and inspired when you look at the org chart and recognize that there's no place for you to go, that there's no real room for growth? So you got to make sure that the environment that you're in has resources that allow you to grow and expand. Granted, you're doing the work and putting in the effort. Limited access to education, training, or financial support can also restrict your ability to develop the skills and knowledge needed for success. Again, what we're covering here in this episode is, how to create an environmentally friendly a place for you to excel and succeed. A lot of times in my experience, what I notice for people is that one of the biggest drawbacks to their success is that they're actually not in an environment that is conducive to their growth. And so it's not even their fault. The oak tree or the rose bush, right, doesn't become that beautiful rose bush if it's not in the right environment. And so it is important that you make sure that the growth that you want to experience is supported by being in a healthy environment. And so the environment also includes, the books you read, the television shows that you watch. It includes the music that you listen to. And you got to be willing, You got to be willing to do the things necessary to create an environment in your minds, in your subconscious, that promotes the growth that you want to experience. Another one of the pitfalls or drawbacks to not having the right environment is it's too easy to get distracted and other temptations. See, when you are in an environment that doesn't support your growth, then it's usually a lower frequency of vibration. And the lower the frequency of vibration, the more of the distractions and temptations. So an environment that is filled with distractions, such as excessive noise, constant interruptions, or temptations like social media or unhealthy habits, can actually divert your focus and hinder productivity. It's not just you. It's not about testing yourself to see how much you can manage, right? It might mean that you have to care enough about yourself to go to a quiet place for whatever period of time you have in order to get done what is important for the accomplishment of the goal and the dream. Okay. And then also a lack of accountability. Many people are looking to excel, but the only person they're accountable to is themselves, and they haven't yet developed the disciplines that would lead to that. Okay, so I wouldn't test it. If I'm you, I make sure that I have a coach. I make sure that I have a mentor, someone that I communicate to what I'm going to get done, and they hold me to it. It's so important that you recognize and take close inventory of your environment to check for these pitfalls that make it more difficult. You may find that you're actually making it harder for yourself because you haven't created an environment that is there for you to truly excel and to win. And so what then are 4 steps for you to create a good environment if the one you're in is not conducive? Number 1, you've already started, really. Overarching all of this is awareness and acknowledgement of your point A, meaning like, where are you right now? Just without doing anything too brash or sudden, just take a look at your environment and be honest with yourself and asking, is this environment, is it conducive for the growth that I want to experience? Reflect on the elements that would contribute to your success. Consider factors such as support, resources, mindset, values, and determine what type of environment would best align with your goals and aspirations. Secondly, surround yourself with supportive individuals. I promise you they're out there. If you feel like you're the only one who's going after a big dream or a big goal, then you aren't connecting with the right people because, and I mean, I know a lot of them. Seek out a mastermind. Seek out a group where the conversation is about forward movement and progress. Maybe a Facebook group, and frankly, you could reach out to me. At info@courtlandwarren.com. I'm starting a mastermind group in October, the Alchemy Circle. It is an application process, but because the reason for that is I want to make sure to vet that group so that we can ensure that it is an environment conducive for the growth that we want to experience. But it is important whether you work with me or not, right? The important thing is that you surround yourself with supportive individuals who want to see you win. There's no reasonable room for debate on the fact that life is easier when you surround yourself with other people who want to see you win. And then number 3, create physical and mental spaces that support success. Designate a space that is conducive to your productivity and focus. Organize and declutter your surroundings to minimize the distractions. And additionally, cultivate a positive mindset by engaging in practices such as meditation, visualization, or affirmations that reinforce your belief in your abilities and your potential for success. So when we talk about creating the space, it's about creating the space both physically and mentally. Physically, a designated area where you get work done, and mentally, it's about conquering the mind so that your mindset is ready to take on the challenges that might present themselves as you go after your goals and dreams. And then number 4, so just a quick review, okay? In order to create the environment, all right? 4 steps to creating that environment, an environment that's friendly to you winning. 1, identify your ideal environment. 2, surround yourself with supportive people. 3, create physical and mental spaces that support success. And then number 4, you knew this was coming. Take action to make the necessary changes. So once you've identified the components of your ideal environment, take action to implement the changes. Now, this might involve setting boundaries with negative influences. It might involve seeking out new opportunities or making some difficult decisions, such as, changing jobs or relocating or discontinuing some friendships or relationships. Okay. I'm not you have to look at your environment and be honest for yourself, but know that this might be required. That some of the same people you've been hanging out with for decades, if you look around and there's never a conversation about growth and expansion, it might be time for you to move around. Okay. And embrace the change and be willing to step outside of your comfort zone to create an environment that supports your success. Why? Because it is in you to be great. It is in you to win. It is in you to leave a mark on the universe that makes it known that you were here because you contributed something that makes it easier for other people to live. And creating a good environment for success is an ongoing process. It requires consistent effort, self-reflection, and, when necessary, making adjustments. So you stay committed to surrounding yourself with the right people, the resources and mindset that will empower you to thrive and achieve your goals. So when you look at it, then you say, okay, well, all right, how do I determine? Really simply, how do I determine if my environment is friendly for the success that I want to achieve? Ask yourself very simply, do I have supportive relationships? Assess the people you surround yourself with. Do they support your goals and aspirations? Are they encouraging and motivating and constructive? Secondly, access to resources. So you look around, consider the availability of resources that can aid in your success. So, as you take an accounting of your environment, you're just looking to see, okay, do I have supportive relationships around? Do I have access to resources? Is my environment currently aligned with my values and goals? Sometimes people will go to work all day and do a thing that is actually the opposite of what they ultimately want to do. So you got to make sure that your current environment aligns with your values and goals. Do you have a mindset that is positive and towards inspiration? Okay. Notice the overall atmosphere and energy of your environment. Is it positive? Is it inspiring? Is it motivating? A friendly environment actually uplifts, encourages, and catch this, it also challenges. It also challenges. The right environment won't allow you to be comfortable. In fact, you'll be pushed, pulled, challenged to do more and to be greater. I hope this helps. If so, don't keep it a secret. Let someone know that this podcast exists, and we appreciate that. You're welcome to reach out to us at info@courtlandwarren.com, or you can just go to courtlandwarren.com, CourtlandWarren. Download the free ebook, share with us your email, and that way we're able to contact you on our own versus reliance on a platform. But that's only if you get value here. So if you did and you know that you're not a part of the email list, go ahead and go right now to courtlandwarren.com. leave us your email, and we promise to only reach out when there is value to be shared. Fair enough? Thanks a lot. And we appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, recognize that you deserve to have an extraordinary life because it's in you to be great. You're not alone, and you never have been. Take care.